Very welcome to the episode 18, I believe it is. 19, sorry. Episode 19 of our AV Retrospective podcast. Here, as always, with Federico, Sam, and Matt. Hi, guys.
Hey.
Hey, Matt.
Good week for you guys?
Mixed. Decidedly mixed.
Right.
Oh, well, no, I can't say mine was great now. So yeah, I feel bad saying that now.
I mean, I will feel bad. Some people, I mean, there's some person, probably French, who said that every time their friends have a success, a little part of them dies. But that's not the case for me. I'm keen to hear about my friends' successes.
Yeah, I can't say my week was great. I mean, it was good. It wasn't bad, but I certainly didn't have anyone make a personal affront on me like some people. I guess we'll get into that a little bit in the struggles. Do we want to have a look and have a cleanup maybe of the action items?
Yes, I'm just doing that. Maybe you want to post the video so that people who want to follow along on the video stream can do so. But yeah, I've just been pulling up the action items and chunking out things. So yeah, I'll run through those and you can sort out for the people who want the visual viewing. Obviously, won't affect the podcasters, but yeah. So Mike, I believe, actually has been working on the Python Flask mob and date and time mob, and I think he's always away. So I think we can take that off there. We talked about a sprint plan for January. We did now do a sprint this week on admin and payments, and we're also joined by Nick now. It's great to have Nick with us. You haven't missed anything, Nick. We're just working through the action items. So I guess then there are decisions to be made about future sprints, but that doesn't have to be dealt with right this second. We haven't had any music brought in, although I guess I have mixed feelings about the music in as much as I get emails every day telling me which YouTube videos we've had blocked because of copyright issues. So anyway, I mean, it's you know, I mean, I just feel like surely these, bountiful music companies should want to let us, spice up our, it's not like we're earning huge amounts of money out of these things, but yeah. So yeah, carefully. I feel like the careful measuring of space is very much ongoing. I was really excited this week to hear Matt talking about the work he was doing with CowStab on measuring things. So I think we can knock that off. And Federico has updated the numbers on the Azure sponsorship. That sort of sprinting is there. I'm definitely been listening to Rain music when I can. I think we're getting through most of those. Obviously the music, I don't know, we'll see if we need to come back to that. But that's maybe enough. So a bit of weeding there of the action items. The main one then being obviously sorting out the music and getting more sprint plans in place or not. And Joseph joined us as well. We're getting a bit of background noise. I'm just going to mute folks. Do feel free to unmute yourself when you want to join in. On that note, so let's dive into the struggles. I'll read out the struggles from our retrospective board, and they were crime and explosions. No, sorry, no explosions apparently, but there was crime. And there was struggles deploying Rails apps in prod staging differences. There was finding time to sprint. There was funding, communication, emotions, time. These are all individual things rather than just a run-on sentence, by the way. Matt and Sam not having enough time pairing and missing external meetings. That's outside of AV due to too much AV and oversleeping. Since we've had Nick and Joseph join us, I'll just go to Nick first. Nick, did you have a struggle that you'd like to add? One of these you'd like to highlight? Or there's usually a third thing, isn't there? Add, highlight, or query. That's it. Add, highlight, or query. And of course, since I've muted Nick, he may be powerless to reply.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Okay, not necessary on this occasion. Tell us.
Well, I don't have anything to add. I don't have anything to highlight. Query. Yeah, well, I guess. Well, I'll just wait I'll wait to see if my questions get answered later.
All right.
So I've got nothing.
That's perfectly reasonable. Perfectly reasonable. That's always a good answer. Joseph, same question to you. Anything to add, query, or highlight in the struggles?
To add, no, but to highlight, maybe I can highlight crime.
Right.
Yeah, there was an attack 2 days ago in a hotel. Yeah.
In a hotel. Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about that. Stella was telling me about it.
Yeah.
Is that
something?
Was that so? A hotel in Kenya?
Yeah.
Wow. I hadn't heard about that. Yeah.
Close to where you are?
What?
Close to where you are?
Yeah, you can say that. It's like 30 minutes away.
Wow.
Driving. With traffic. So
right.
It might be even. Yeah, so it's like 20. 20 kilometers.
All your friends and family are okay?
Yeah. I don't know why I'm laughing, but yeah. I guess I'm relieved.
I was going to ask you the same question. Obviously, if you're all okay, you wouldn't be laughing. So that's good.
Yeah. Except my Uncle Bob. Anyway, just joking.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, so Sam.
So, oh, what a sec. Sorry, is that me? Oh gosh, sorry. So
Yeah,
my apologies there. I thought it was Joseph that you were like you'd heard the action item about someone's got to bring music. And I was just thinking, why is Joseph playing that music there? I was in the background Googling the issue on the attack, and like 21 people killed, and my goodness, so it's awful. And then it's one of these websites where it like auto plays, I don't know, like what it's auto playing there. That's just really weird. So
yeah, I couldn't play music in the middle of the. That's so unprofessional. I am a professional now. I know when to play, when not to play. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're keeping it real, and I'm keeping it really ridiculous. And this is with my new setup where I'm using this snowball mic and well, there we go. Yeah, well, that's great to hear that.
As we continue, I'll add more like related to Agile Ventures. I've just woken up, so yeah, I slept. I even missed the algorithm mob.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a struggle. Yeah. Anything else to add, highlight, or query beyond?
Oh yeah. For people who want to pair, there is like an issue of trying to find the right time to pair.
Right.
So yeah, yesterday we missed a meeting. In Unfold, I think we missed, or we did not. Okay, no, we did not.
Well, sorry, I think you missed. We had the meeting, but it, I guess, coincided with another meeting you were having.
Yeah.
And we did start. There was some confusion about it, and we almost missed it. But yeah.
All right. Excellent, Joseph. Thank you for sharing all of those things. Federico, anything to highlight, query, or add to our list of struggles this week?
So not really, but I do want to report that music sounded really good with the snowball mic. So we might designate you as the intro outro music guy.
Yeah, I mean, I could be if I was thinking about. I mean, it is a whole new world with this snowball mic, which I think actually previously I thought was being used in the Hangouts, but now it's not. I mean, that's kind of a success, I guess, in something to have that into so that brings us on to Matt. Anything to highlight, query, or add in the struggles list?
Yeah, I think I forgot to say, like, just dealt with some struggles this week as well. Like when you said deploying Rails, like I dealt with struggles in deploying on the Agile Ventures playground, but at the moment we're able to deploy. And I guess maybe a suggestion. I don't know if it's not really time for suggestions, but
add it now so don't lose it. Yeah, tell me. Just
maybe if we could talk about, like, I noticed that like on Heroku, for example, we turn on and turn off the servers that we're not using, for example, website one develop and staging, but we've taken a different approach with Docker Azure, and I guess maybe there's a reason for that, but maybe we could like have stuff turned off that's not, and not have it running 24 hours a day as a way to maybe save a little bit of money. Although I don't know, I'm curious to see Federico's findings about whether we are making any difference in the measures we've taken. But that way we just, if you want to use it, turn it on. If you're done using it, try to remember to turn it off.
Right. Great suggestion. Fantastic. Yes. Was that everything on the struggle front then?
I think so. Yeah. The other stuff I think is explanatory, self-explanatory.
Cool. All right. Let's go on to successes. And I had this idea listening to the podcast of like, I shouldn't go back and forward along the line. I would like choose a different like random function to move through to people in a completely different order each time. And to that end, I will choose Joseph next. Joseph, do you? Oh well, actually, I guess I should read out the successes for our audio-only listeners first, which is the successes are now the snowball microphone, the fixed PayPal bug, the website one front-end PR is on the way to being merged for login and sign-up pages, good DevOps sessions with CowStub, debugging amounts of RAM on the boxes, Matt paired with Robert on Human Connection, got at least 2 premium admin issues processed, Sam on Greater Than Code podcast, good NHS event, NHS funding possibilities, and got Peter and Mike and Ratchet in the Sing for Needs project, and they did lots of good work this week. Joseph, would you like to add, query, or highlight any successes? And if I take your silence as indicating that you would not, I will go on to Federico. Would you like to add, query, or highlight any successes?
Yeah, I think I want to highlight the Sync for Needs project, which will be at syncforneeds.org. It's a project we started about a year ago, and we did a lot of initial work with the help from, especially from you, Sam, with the user stories and in our face-to-face pairing sessions, and from like Brent with some of the mock-ups. And then we kind of put that on hold for different reasons and worked on the website for championer.org. So Sync for Needs would be a project for Championer.
Mm-hmm.
And then just over the weekend, Peter and Mike have been skilling up on their React skills, and they wanted something relatively simple to work on. And so we had these essentially empty repos to work on, and they just put in a lot of work to set it up and get it going. And then Ratchet came in during the meeting yesterday, and asked if you could do some product management. And so I kind of told them all about it. And so things are taking off there again. So that's a big success there.
Fantastic. Wonderful.
And you got a new DevOps guy for the Sing for Needs website.
Who would that be? I mean, I had someone help me review tickets during the Daily Code Kickoff. That would be special guest Joseph. I don't know about the DevOps guy. Is that you?
Yeah, I think you asked me to deploy, but
oh yes. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Joseph wants to deploy to Google Cloud Platform, and we're deploying it to Google Cloud Platform. So he's going to do that for us. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. So, and we also got Joseph on board. I think that. Yeah. So I kind of buried the lead there. Got Joseph to contribute to Sync for Needs.
Right.
Joseph.
Yeah.
Cool beans. Let's go to Nick. Would you like to highlight, query, or add to any of these successes?
No, I've got nothing this week to contribute or say. I'm just listening in.
That's never a problem. That leaves Matt. Matt, do you have any of the same things for the successes?
Successes, yeah. Well, I thought we had fixed the PayPal bug, but now that I think about it, it's not actually working out of the box on staging. So, yeah. But I think it was nice being able to get a better understanding of how the payments work in website one. That was really good. And also had, I guess, just a brief time to do admin stuff. So I made some contribution by editing our private repo, I think our only private repo.
Yeah.
So that was good, and making progress on the React front end. I can't remember exactly if anything got merged in this week or not. Like just working through code reviews that João had given, and like making the tests like more robust, or like actually testing for things that are worth testing for. So, and kind of learning more about testing in JavaScript and dealing with mocks, and working through issues like yeah, didn't really feel like I paired in as much as I like to with Joseph this week. But that's okay. Sometimes the kids got to grow up, and so yeah, it was good overall week, I think, and looking forward to getting off before. I've been kind of getting off late every day, every Monday through Thursdays, and trying on Fridays to be like, no, I'm going to get off early and spend time with my wife. So that's good, and gonna do that again today. So.
That's excellent. Yeah. So early Fridays to spend time with loved ones.
Yes.
That's a very good idea. Right. Good stuff. So that's our successes then. Let's move on to suggestions. And I guess I'm trying to invert this function. Let's go to Federico, I think, it doesn't work, and say, yeah, we've got some suggestions here. One says give up on sprints, ? Another one is have sprinters not attend mobs. Another one is turning on and off servers that we are not using, like we do on Heroku. And it's not servers, I guess it's apps, isn't it? And then we have early Fridays to spend time with loved ones. Federico, are there any suggestions you would like to add, highlight, or query?
I don't think so. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of something, anything. I guess I'll maybe query about the give up on sprints. Like, who wrote that?
I wrote that. I was wondering. I mean, I was something I was expressing before Christmas as well. I was wondering, they're like about their effectiveness. Maybe it's like they were something that we started trying out in September, and we definitely got some value from them, I think, over the course of the fall, the autumn, as it is in the northern hemisphere, or the spring, as it is in the southern. And I guess I wonder, are they still the way forward? Like, I don't know. It's sort of a question. And we like, other things being equal, we would not sprint next week. And then there's a question of like, what we might try and do a sprint on starting on the 28th. And there's a number of things that we could be sprinting on. Yeah. So there's like, that's up for discussion. Should we have like, there's 5 of us here. I'm not saying we should or shouldn't. I mean, I kind of, like putting it out. Does anybody feel strongly about whether we should continue doing sprints or stop doing sprints, or do different kinds? Should they be like 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, or should it be like, weird, everybody should wear a hat while they're doing a sprint? Or I don't. Sorry.
Well, I mean, I kind of would like to analyze like what was the cost of the sprints, because I know there was definitely benefits to it, especially during the fall. And now since we're kind of questioning it, I wonder if we might be able to target the cost of doing sprints and maybe try to attack it that way. I don't know.
That's there. So we've got benefits, costs and benefits. I've got a few that I could throw out, but maybe I shouldn't. Does anybody have any strong feelings about the costs and benefits of sprints?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about costs and benefits like in relation to like the older model, or just by itself. Because like, how would one calculate the costs and benefits? I mean, taking like Sam's time and timesing it by some number, and or like how would that work?
I'm not sure, and I'm not sure. I mean, Federico mentioned the costs and benefits. To me, it seems like, well, it's in like the simple comparison is the way we've done sprints in the last 4 months, and then how we did it before that. So, you know, potentially we gained something from doing sprints in a way that we hadn't been doing them before. I go, oh, yeah, and that we also suffered some costs in something or other. But so, yeah, I mean, let me kick it off with, I mean, the sprint benefit was, I think, some really tricky problems were fixed that I'm not sure if we would ever have fixed them if we hadn't done the sprints. And I think that's the particular one is the, gosh, what's it called? It's the HLP Wiki deploy framework. And so I think that the sprints were instrumental in making that happen. And, you know, if we hadn't been in the sprints, that may never have got done, and that would have been problematic.
Yeah, although I mean that was definitely not just the sprints. Like, I mean, I was working. I put in a lot of hours on that outside of sprinting hours. Like, so, but yeah.
Right, but yeah, I think what we're saying there is not that the sprint can be labeled as being like purely the thing that led to this outcome. It's more that without the sprint, I think we would not have got to that outcome. It was like, I might be wrong. My sense is that it was the focused work of the sprint where we were able to actually really grapple and wrestle with the problem together. I mean, in any sprint, various sorts of work are going on outside the sprint. But I don't think you're suggesting that we didn't need the sprint in order to make it happen, or maybe you are. Maybe you think.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know whether I think we probably would have figured it out unless we just gave up. But like, I think that it definitely helps to be able to have more time to focus on. And then, like, I think that's part of the benefits of having sprints is that it's more fresher in your mind than if you're just visiting the problem once a week for 1 hour. Like, then it takes you lose a certain amount of time just like trying to grapple with, okay, what exactly are we doing here? Yeah. And so that's why I'm in favor of the sprints for sure.
Right, and so the thing was, before you joined us, we had spent, if my memory serves, 9 months tapping away at this problem, once a week, repeating at it, and yeah, maybe we would have eventually got there. Yeah, so perhaps we can say we feel confident that we got there a bit sooner as a result of having the sprint.
Yeah, I mean, I think like also as well, like if you can be doing something, like I think if you have someone that comes along that is interested in solving the issue and is spending dedicated time on working on that outside of just 1 hour per week, then that definitely takes you, steps forward as well. Like, so it's not necessarily you have to have a sprint on it. It just, having someone work on something for multiple hours per week definitely is a catalyst to getting things done faster.
Right. So that it helps people focus on particular problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was thinking there was another benefit sort of tied up in one of the things that you were saying there, but my brain has lost it.
I think it can. Another benefit I think is it can help if like people are interested getting started on a project and they want to have a better overview, or they want to like have some help pairing on an issue. Although, you know, maybe it doesn't help with that, because we haven't recently, the sprints haven't been lots of people coming to the sprints. It's been mostly you and I, hasn't it?
This
Sorry,
week.
I mean, Federico helped as well. You know, like I'm not saying other people haven't been, but.
So I can name a cost.
Go on.
It's not so bad, but I think it definitely is a cost. Sort of the flip side of being able to concentrate on one thing. It's sort of you're hyper focused on that one thing, and that's could be potentially the only thing you're doing, and there's a danger that you might get sort of burnt out on it. Where I kind of like to have a little variety, like for this other Scrum that we have that I won't name because we've been promoting it too much. Like this week, I switched it every day. Did Human Connection, did Anvil, did Championer, did Synchronides, and I kind of like to be able to switch things every day. So that's, I guess it's like a minor cost. It's not really a major cost.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the more serious potential cost there is, you know, hyper focus on one thing leads to dropping the ball on other things. But I don't know. I mean, that's sort of like a logical extension. I don't know if we've got an example of something like being dropped because we were hyper focused on a weak sprint. I mean, I think what I do notice is that's the question mark there. What I definitely notice is that mobs such as that mobs that go bi-weekly to accommodate sprints suffer a lack of focus and progress. I've been, for example, deep learning mob and well, to a certain extent, the agile dev mob. You know, that's a potential cost.
I've got something I could probably add on this.
Please do, Nick.
Although I haven't been able to attend a sprint, mostly due to timing and yeah, mostly due to because I'm asleep when you're sprinting and I've got a busy life regardless. But as like a professional development point of view, like I think when I recently interviewed for a company, they operate on sprints. They said like they do 2-week sprint.
Yeah.
And just repeat it. And so they wanted to know about agile ventures and do they sprint and what it's like. And so I think for like a professional development point of view, it might be good for people who are looking for jobs to like know what a sprint is, like
right.
how to get involved and be able to talk about it.
I mean, I think what we have is sort of like a hybrid of what we already have, which is like usually 2-week sprints with most of our projects. And at the other extreme is like the design sprint, which is like hyper focused, just do everything, get out a prototype in 1 week. And we don't usually do that during these sprints, but we try to accomplish like a major goal. And yeah, I mean, I think there is a benefit to it. And if you can speak to it during interviews, it is out there in the real world that they focus on this. Like if you get a job, you might work on it for a couple weeks or a week if it's a minor feature. Yeah.
Yeah, those are good points. I think that the funny, we're using the term sprint in a kind of funny way. I think sprints anywhere, with the exception of our recent Agile Ventures thing, refer to just the work on a project being broken up into these chunks and various other things to do with the agile process and so on. I think the give up on sprints here is more talking about giving up on, at least for a while, having this sort of sprint on, sprint off. Like, in principle, all of the projects have sprints taking place to greater or lesser degrees, and they're like the folks in the SHF project, and the Human Connection, they're running their sprints, and they're very focused on just their project. They're not trying to do 8 projects at a time, like some crazy people we might mention, me, for example. And so, maybe the issue is not to sprint or not to sprint. It's just, not trying to do quite so many things at the same time. I mean, if one of the things that we did generated massively more revenue than all of the others, it would be very easy to focus on that. But unfortunately, they don't. So that's kind of confusing.
Just like I mean, if I obviously, like, if we should continue having a conversation about this, I would be disappointed if we canceled this type of sprint before we had like a dedicated week on Human Connection. But
sure. That's a good point to make. Does anybody else have any thing to add about what they see as sprint costs and sprint benefits? I think I might add that there's lack of flexibility in the sprint week, in the idea that you should be focused on one thing, and then the benefit, I guess, which is the alternate one, which is that can take on tasks that sometimes would feel impossible or intractable. But okay, so we could talk more about this, but I guess there's a couple of other, maybe other folks want us to focus on. Oh, but we started with Federico there, on that suggestion. There's Nick as well. Thanks for your contributions; they're very important ones. You have sort of a slot for? Do you have any other suggestions, other thoughts to add, edit, highlight, query out of this suggestions list?
No, I do not.
No problem at all. Matt, how about you?
What was the question? Sorry.
Well, it was the general one about sharing or edit. Oh, you confused me now. I've forgotten that one that I've asked about 18 times for each of these. That applied to the suggestions list.
I think that maybe highlights a struggle is me staying focused on meetings.
Oh, okay, right. Okay.
I've been somewhat distracted recently in meetings. Yeah.
Right. So is maybe the suggestion is to have fewer meetings?
Yeah, I mean, but some of them are not even meetings. Some of them are like actually places where we actually do coding, and I still get distracted. So I don't know what that is. Anyways, yeah, no. What I mean, actually, the suggestion about turning on and off the apps when we're not using, I guess that's a question like for you.
Yeah, it sounds great. I mean, particularly if it saves us money. I mean, it comes back to that key thing about measuring. So, I mean, and even if it doesn't save us money, if it's more, I mean, you've got the thing, if having 6 of the other apps running makes it really difficult to deploy an individual app, then that's clearly very inconvenient for the people who are trying to come deploy the app. If those 6 other apps running and having to switch them on when they're needed is very inconvenient for whoever's using those apps, then those trade-offs have got to be balanced independent of whether it saves money or not. So, but yeah. I mean, in principle, if it saves money, woohoo! I love saving money.
So I guess that leads to a question for Federico. Have you noticed any difference in like saving money the last week?
Yes, so I would say yes. I'm just preparing the screenshots here. So if you can,
nice.
I'll
But can we and the interesting question there is not have we saved money, because lots of other things have been done, like in terms of turning off boxes. Can we ascribe savings specifically to not having individual apps run in Doku?
Yeah, that's.
I mean, I think we know more or less when we turned off those boxes, and like because we can get a daily, like daily amounts of how much we're spending. Like, so I think, yeah.
It's really hard to break it down the way they provide us the numbers. It takes a lot of time to, and then even then, they don't provide enough information to make it easy at all. And so answering Sam's question that way, but yeah, we can do like day by day, week by week, and then with further analysis, we could try to break down the box how much they use.
Yeah, so that sounds like a action item is further analysis of of the Azure cost data. What gives us savings? Yeah, interesting. Okay, fantastic. So that leaves us, I think, with Joseph. Last and certainly not least, Joseph, are there any of the suggestions that you're keen to add to query or highlight?
Yeah, for hosting and turning off other things. Yeah, for example, we could. Yeah, the suggestion to go to Heroku is okay too, but also there is this link. We could host like the React, the front end, the React front end for Agile
Cool.
Ventures.
Thanks for sharing. Excellent.
Which is not as slow as Heroku.
And so for our listeners, that's zeit.co.
Oh yeah.
zeit.co.
All right.
Before it was called now.sh, but now they changed from now to Z. Don't know why.
Cool.
We had talked a little bit about that a couple of weeks ago, hadn't we? Or last week, about different alternatives to, putting all of our apps on Azure.
Yeah, talked about a little bit about Google Cloud Platform. I mean, maybe we could try to put the staging or the develop boxes up there. People want to get experience with GCP. It's good to have that skill. And we know how to. Some of us know how to get spin up boxes for free because they allow that. They're one of the few services that allow a decent, so kind of like what you would get for DigitalOcean for $5 a month, you can get for free on Google Cloud Platform.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, and was it Daniel had the great suggestion of that, of trying to bundle benefits into the premium so that people could get like places to experiment with things, which I think is a fantastic idea. It's we've definitely seen, I think, going from some sites from Heroku to Azure is we've saved the Heroku bills, but we've generated a lot of DevOps work in the process, and DevOps work is not free. It takes up time, so we've got to carefully balance that against these things. Yes, so certainly, like you're saying there, Federico, like if we can move dev things onto GCP, or is it maybe on Zeit or whatever it happens to be, and free up Azure, so we can sort of, that sounds great. So I'm all for that. Whatever balance gets it to all work for us. All right. Well, I'm going to save that page there, and I'm going to take the suggestion of where's it gone? Early Fridays to spend time with loved ones, to stop and go and listen to my rain music so I'm suitably calm for my family supper. Thanks so much for all of your hard work in Agile Ventures this week. It's been great working with you. Look forward to seeing you again next week. More retrospectives. Do feel free to carry on without me, but I'll have a great weekend. Bye for now.
Thank you. See you soon.
So are we clear? Are we still live?
No, yeah, we're still live.
Okay, no, we can still stay live. I do want to show you the numbers.
Yes, please.
So for, I guess there could be some people watching that might want to see this too. So if we look at, let's see here. So this is in the past week. No, I'm sorry. This was essentially last Thursday, not yesterday, but the Thursday before that, going to the Thursday before that. So from the 3rd of January to the 10th, we spent 109, almost 110. And then from that Thursday, the 10th, to the 17th, we spent 101. That's like a saving of $8. To be fair, we only stopped those boxes like on Sunday. So that's like 2 or 3 days that it was still in full effect, what we had before. And then if I go to, this is still loading. So while that's calculating, this is essentially going to generate $444 approximately from December 11th to January 11th, how much we're spending. Our target is $416 per month to spend. We were spending $444 from 12/11 to 1/11. And then so now we got it down to from the 18th of December to today, down at $423. So we're heading in the right direction. We just need to essentially save like $7 more a month, and we'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could try, since we're not going to turn any other boxes off, we can try, like, I can just keep the stuff live that, you know, the minimal stuff on AVP and see if we notice any difference next week.
Yeah. And to be clear, $7 a month, that's savings that we want like in the long run. If we want to like avoid any additional costs, we need to save, you know, a lot more up until the end of February. We were spending like $444 a month. So does that okay, so I kind of confused myself. We had a month and a half from last week's numbers, a month and a half, $666 and change. That at the rate we were going, right, 444 times 1.5, and we only had about $340 left for the year, and so we needed to cut that in half, the rate we were going at, in order to meet our budget. We kind of decided we're not going to do that because it would take up too much effort and at the cost of some of our apps. So we're kind of gonna have to prepare for the cost. But going forward, I think we might be okay. Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, thanks for that. That's helpful. And hopefully it'll go down, you know, next week as well. Like, and it'll be interesting to know whether actually turning off individual apps makes any difference. Like, I guess, you know, I would expect it to make less of a difference than turning off the box, but.
Right. Yeah. So, cool. Do we have anything else?
I'm curious. So is Microsoft Azure, is that working better than what we were using before, which was, I think, Heroku, or is that working better for us? Or?
I guess I would ask Matt, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to define if it's working better, because I think like with Heroku is not free, right? We need to pay for it. But then in the end, like if we go over our credits, like Azure is not free either. So I'm not sure how much we're going to go over. and like, but it was seeming like we were gonna go over maybe like between $200 and $300, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Like
So
I guess.
then
Yeah.
like you divide like that 300 by 12 months. I don't know, I'm not really good at math right now, but that's like a little bit less than $30 a month, $25 a month for the whole year that we're going to go over. And
Okay.
that, I mean, yeah, on Heroku, you can house, I guess it depends on the app, but I think we were paying around $7 an app. So it seems like you could like, I mean, if we could avoid going over and having like paying an extra like, you know, $14 a month or, you know, $21 a month on Heroku, but not going over, then we would probably save a little bit of money. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, it has the potential, if we're not careful, of costing us more money on Microsoft Azure, I think.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
So
would you say
how's
that
the weather in Florianopolis? I'm curious.
it's really hot, you know? I'm
I'm
sitting here.
jealous.
Yeah, I mean, it's just.
I'm cold. I'm freezing my ass off.
Yeah, I was there last summer, like not in Oregon, but I was there. I was in like close to Yosemite, you know, and it was cold there, you know, like below freezing, you know. And here, like, I've got a fan on me, like pointed at me all day, and then just talking to my mother-in-law the other day, and we were just like, you know, talking about how my wife, she doesn't have a fan, you know, because it's like sitting pointing at me all day. So she's like around the house, like doing stuff and just sweating. Complaining to the mother-in-law. And then today, a fan showed up at her door, and so mom's got her back, you know. That was quite interesting.
So do you speak the local language there, or do you get around fine with English?
No, I speak Portuguese, but you know, I don't know if you have to. You probably could get away around, you know, you could probably get away with not speaking too much, really, because like the thing is that a lot of, you know, you can get a job speaking, teaching English, for example, or if you have a job like doing whatever else that you're doing, like working remotely, as you know, then like there's a fair amount of people that speak English, but like I guess like if you go like to day-to-day stuff, I guess a lot of people wouldn't, but yeah, I mean,
I'm just curious.
A lot of my friends speak English.
Sounds like a cool place to live.
Yeah, it's nice.
It seems it's cheap too, right? Or inexpensive?
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, it's not so expensive. Like it's in comparison to the United States. I think if you're earning in dollars, for example, then you're doing good. If you're earning in reais, then I guess depends on what you do for work. You know, like the average the I don't know what the average wage is, but like if you just work in commerce or something like that, like, or in, you know, like working at a shop downtown or something like that, you don't really get paid enough to.
What about teaching English?
Teaching English, you get paid better than most, you know, than most things, like anywhere from like 2,000 to 3,000 reais a month, you know.
I think I would be a good English teacher.
Yeah, I mean, you like
don't you?
Yeah, being the center of attention and speaking for a living, you know. Those are things that you feel really really confident.
Students would come out swearing and using all sorts of slang.
Yeah, they do that. Yep. I just keep there right there with him, and then they're like, "Oh, okay, go." The teacher's doing it, then I'm all right.
Yeah, that's the first thing that, like, my cousins in Mexico, they want to learn is, you know, how to curse in English. I don't know why. It's just, I don't know. I guess it works the other way around, right?
Yeah.
Like, we want to know how to curse in other languages.
Yeah, I mean, you learn pretty quick here in Brazil because people are you know, like all you have to do is like watch football with someone, and then
you're set.
Yeah, then you're all right. Speaking of football, it's a big weekend this weekend.
Yeah, yeah. Major weekend. Oh, sorry. Are you talking about soccer?
No, I was talking about American football.
Real football.
Yeah. Well,
Real
I
football.
mean, if you're going by popularity, then real football would be, you know, soccer. What you guys call for soccer.
Yeah. Let's not. Yeah. Sorry, I made that jab at the Chargers earlier today.
Yeah, I noticed that. I mean, you know, not very happy about that, but at least we still have the Rams, you know. So
yeah, and the Rams beat the Chiefs, so there might be a rematch.
Yeah, right. So who is it? It's the Rams in New Orleans. Yeah. So now if they get past New Orleans, you're saying that it's going to be. My uncle is a Kansas City fan.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is he from the area?
I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, he lives in California. He's like married into the family. I don't remember exactly where he was born. I'm not sure how I don't think I've asked him how he became a Kansas City fan, but he's a big Kansas City fan.
Is he from?
But then, like
Texas?
his son. Yeah, I mean, one of his sons is like Jaguars fan, and so I think because there was no like team in LA for so long, like people were in LA that they choose a different team and.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Awesome.
Any Patriots fans in the house?
Well, no.
Don't say it, Nick. Don't say it.
My wife is, obviously. I don't know. Probably everybody's wife is, right? Tom Brady.
Yeah. Although, yeah, I have less respect for Tom Brady after this last.
Deflategate.
No, actually, I was thinking after the last elections. You know.
What happened?
Let's not talk politics. Let's not talk.
Yeah. I was like not being outright with it, you know. Cause
like, did you say you lost respect for him?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what happened, so
yeah.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
What are some like keywords I can search for?
Red hat.
Red hat.
Yeah.
Locker room. Red hat.
Red hat comes up with a bunch of hacking sites on my computer.
You know, Red Hat, Brady, locker room.
Oh boy, I was getting quite specific. All right.
Like he's married to.
Oh my goodness.
You know.
Oh yeah, Brazilian. Yeah, Giselle. How do you pronounce her last name? Is her last name Portuguese?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's Binchin.
Oh God. Okay, that's not how we pronounce it.
No. How's it in? I don't remember.
I never pronounce it, so I don't even know.
It's Binchin, no? Giselle Binchin.
No one says it like that. Yeah. I've never heard it that way. But I mean, I guess that's the real way to say it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like João. Everybody just gives up trying to pronounce it.
I like what was it, Nick? The version you came up with. Hopefully João doesn't listen to this, but you said is it João?
Yeah, that's it. João. Wow.
No, it's not. Don't tell him. I think he's probably used to everyone messing up his name.
I mean, he lives in the States, so. What's going on with this?
So we should probably wrap up unless we want to drive Sam crazy when he listens to this.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's a secondary goal, but Joseph, I just noticed that João put in a PR to remove Circle CI from the Anvil project, and I was wondering like how you felt about that, and
He didn't. He's not removing it. He said he's going to remove caching for now.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, sorry. Do you know how to get, because it's airing out every time we push anything there because of root ownership of the caching. And I was asking him if he knew anything about that, and he said that you're the expert on Circle CI.
Yeah, so I haven't looked at the what that you like the errors. I will look and see what's up, but I don't know. I've never encountered errors being thrown, errors for caching or anything.
Okay. All right. No worries. No worries, bro.
So let's talk more non-Sam, more things that would drive Sam crazy.
Oh yeah, Matt, did you? So are the Lakers going to playoff?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, they seem like they are. I don't know if that will necessarily drive Sam crazy, because he typically asks me about them as well, but I think they will. I mean, Mike was saying they're not going to. Why you think that they might not?
No, I just used that line to look like I know a lot of fast basketball.
Oh
But
yeah, I mean, you
yeah.
definitely told me.
You're a big you're a big Kobe fan, right? Kobe had a great game the other day.
Yeah. Kobe Bryant,
Kobe.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yep.
Man.
I don't know how
Shaquille
they
O'Neal. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had a great day
No,
yesterday.
Michael Jordan is retired.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Not on my TV.
What?
You didn't see the Lakers Bulls game?
LeBron James. I mean,
I turn on the TV and it's all 90s shows and movies and sports games. I just relive the decade of the 90s over and over again.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit like I like a lot of '80s music. You know, my wife is always making fun of me because I'm like playing music. I don't know. Maybe, I think it's because I grew up in the '80s. You know, so
Yeah. Like Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson. I mean, who doesn't like, you know, a little Michael every once in a while?
I think everyone does. They just won't admit it.
Yeah, it's great to like, you know, I remember like family, like my wife's family, like when we would go to Christmas, and like Christmas here in Brazil, they do it differently, where like they have Christmas dinner at like they meet at like, you know, like 7 o'clock at night or whatever, and then they like have, you know, we've been having like Secret Santa recently, you know, and stuff. We do that and have a laugh and stuff, and then we eat dinner at like 10 o'clock at night. And then, you know, everyone like stays around till midnight. And like when a few years ago, they used to always like every year. It's only been 5 years that I've been a part of the family, but like every year they would put on Michael, and we'd like have a dance floor and stuff. It was amazing. But recently, I think people are getting older, and you know, now it doesn't happen as much anymore.
Yeah.
Joseph, are you a Michael Jackson fan?
Michael Jackson.
Yep.
Oh, music.
Yep. Not React. Not React.
Oh yeah, I was like, React Router.
Not React.
Yeah. But only not the latest music, the old ones.
The hits.
Yeah.
Oh man, what am I doing, guys? What am I doing?
What are you
I
doing?
think I'm getting tired, you know.
Oh.
Like I'm like sitting here in the background, like, why is this not working? Like I'm like trying to get this component to render, and it's just not working, and then like I'm not even on the right branch. I don't know what I'm doing.
So as much as I'd like to say and prolong this podcast, make it long for Sam to listen to, I think I will take off. So I guess you guys are free to continue.
Ooh.
Should
I share my screen?
Sure, but I'll catch you guys next week.
Cool. Yeah, you gonna be around this weekend?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, you can always reach me if you need something.
Cool.
But I will. It's gonna be a big day on Sunday, so.
Yeah, no, I mean Sunday, you're gonna. I don't know that I'm kind of like recently I've been needing to like choose one game to watch because it's kind of a lot for my wife. Like my wife doesn't really like the American football. For her, it's kind of like yeah, she's in the background like who likes that that game. I don't know. Nick, are you a fan of American football?
Not really. I don't follow sports much.
No.
Do you follow like card games? Do you follow like
World
like
Series of Poker?
Yeah. Texas Hold'em.
Texas Hold'em. No.
What about like dog shows? Do you like dog shows?
No. I'm pretty boring. I'm a very boring person.
Well, just because you don't like sports doesn't mean you're boring.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it means that. But like, is there a specific reason why you don't like sports, or is it just never really been your cup of tea?
It's just not my cup of tea, I guess. I like to play, sports. Maybe not so much now that I'm older, but when I was a kid, yeah. But I just never really, I don't know, just never watched it. It's not something I did. It's not something my dad did, so I never grew up doing it. So it's not something I've just ever done and took interest in.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up watching the Lakers, and I think that's a big reason why I'm so fanatical.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So
yeah.
On that note, I guess I could say I guess I can say this week, go Rams and go Chiefs.
Yes.
But
it'd be interesting to meet each other.
Yeah. So see you guys next week.
Alrighty.
Thank you. See you guys soon.
See you.